So Marjorie Taylor Greene, there was a story that came out recently showing her texts from behind the scenes with other Republican insiders about January 6th and the time surrounding it. And there's one text which went viral, which was her saying we need martial law. Now, she misspelled martial. It's M-A-R-T-I-A-L is how you spell it. She put M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L. I refuse to go after her about that because I've definitely made that mistake before. Because if you've never seen it written out and you just say it, everybody thinks it's spelled Marshall, like the name. So anyway, total pass on that, Marjorie. Total pass. So she's doing a press conference here, and you're gonna have the journalists or reporters question her about her text and about that text. And she does not handle it very well. She ends up sort of storming off. Take a look.
Do you have any text messages that you want to read the entire text? Because right now, I don't know if those are my text messages, so I don't know what you're referring to.
Okay, and this is a quick follow-up, kind of within the same vein of some of the...
Wait, do you want to read actual text messages, or do you want to read headlines and spin the story on these things? Because until you're going to talk about actual text messages, there's no reason.
So are you saying the January 6th?
Wait, I'm talking to Will right now. Yeah, I'm talking to Will right now. Go ahead, Will.
Okay, well, I'll turn over the rest of my time to Tia.
Okay.
So my question is, are you saying that the January 6th committee, the text messages that they say they have that were sent from you to Chief of Staff Meadows, are you saying you didn't send those text messages?
I have no idea what text messages you were talking about from the January 6th.
The ones quoted in the CNN.
Read them, you're not reading the actual text messages, so I don't recall if those are my text messages or not. So there's no way for me to answer that question.
So a lot of people, including your hearing, which Will referred to, and now these text messages, how would you not recall such important conversations you were participating in leading up to, during?
Yeah, this is how many months ago? 15, 16 months ago. I don't recall hardly any of my text messages that long ago, and even before that. I don't recall our personal conversation word for word that you and I had when I was asking you if you were okay after the riot, and I was very upset when you and I talked in the hallway. So it's impossible for me to say if I recall if those are my text messages when none of you even read what the text messages actually say. So that is my definite answer to you. It would be impossible for me to recall. But we're not going to continue down this anymore because you're not willing to read the text messages. I don't know what they are. I haven't been given them by the January 6th committee, and the January 6th committee doesn't care about riots because they encouraged them, funded them, and cheered them on when it was happening in American cities. But all of a sudden, the only riot they care about was the one in the Capitol. So it's all a political witch hunt. That's where we're going to finish.
Have you been contacted by the January 6th committee?
Nope.
So she crumbled. She crumbled under questions about her text messages. Now, here's why she did. They're totally indefensible. She was talking about how Trump should declare martial law, and me and a bunch of the other Republican Congress people are talking about it, and that might be the way to go. She knows there is nothing she can say publicly that would clean that up enough to make it palatable and acceptable to the majority of Americans. And so she just tries to deflect and obfuscate and do I don't even remember, bro. Text messages? I text all the time. I was just texting yesterday. I don't even remember what I said yesterday in my text messages, bro. What are you even talking about? This was a long time ago. How am I supposed to remember that? Brazen lie. How do I know she knows it? There was 1,000 articles written about it in every different outlet, and they show her literal text messages. The idea that she didn't hear about that story or she didn't see the articles, please. Of course she did. Of course she did. It's not like hey, some days you text about ordering a burrito, and other days you say we should do an authoritarian dictatorship and declare martial law because we don't like the outcome of an election. No. No. She knows what she said. She knows she's wrong. She knows she can't defend it, and so she does this. And this is all, in keeping with, honestly, a lot of the people who were the top-level Republicans from January 6th, they were in total disarray, and their messaging has never been clear after January 6th, because on the one hand, they immediately they were terrified, and they were condemning it, and they were like, Trump's got to stop this now, because they were the targets, right? Like, everybody in D.C. was the target. But then they switched their tune to, no, this is Antifa. Antifa did this. It wasn't Trump people, it was Antifa. And then they switched it to, actually, if it was our people, it was based. And then you have others who are like, it's all the FBI. So wait, is it the FBI framing Trump people, which is bad? Or is it the Trump people and it's good? Or is it Antifa and it's bad again? What is it? There is no coherent, consistent narrative because they're in disarray, because they know what happened on that day was inexcusable. They know they snuggled up to a bunch of bad actors who they shouldn't have snuggled up with. And so they're just melting under the pressure of very basic questions. Now, look, I was a critic of the whole January 6th committee from the beginning. Why? Because really, it's political theater, and it's an attempt to dodge the Democrats doing real shit that would improve lives. Real policy that would improve lives. The more this, hogs the news feed, the less you're going to hear about, we're proposing a bill to do universal pre-K or to do elder care, to expand the child tax credit, or it is political theater. And Joe Manchin even admitted it. He's like, you got to give us this January 6th committee thing because then we have a distraction so we don't have to focus on actually improving lives. So I was skeptical of it from the beginning, and I was critical of it from the beginning, and I was correct to be that way. But it is also true that we are learning facts that expose what these people are really like. And they don't even have a commitment to basic, small d democratic principles. They don't. It was like that, that Mike Lee tweet where he said, people need to understand the point of this country is not democracy. The point of this country is like peace and prosperity and liberty, something to that effect. It's like, all right, well, shit, if you're just going to say it, points for honesty. And how many times, Lauren Boebert said this the other day, these people need to understand we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. Ultimate, idiot, far-right slogan bullshit to say. I've heard that so many times throughout my life. We are both a constitutional republic and a representative democracy, which is why all these politicians who are now shitting on democracy had to get votes of actual people to get elected. They just dismiss that, act like that's not a thing, or that doesn't exist, or that's not part of the system. Of course it's part of the system. Of course we're a representative democracy along with the constitutional republic. But they don't like the democracy part, especially when it cuts against the people they want to get elected. And so they just is it really all that important? Yes! Yes, it is important. Of course it's important. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But hey, look, it is the best evidence you could ever see to know that she knows she can't defend that shit publicly. And that's the key sign of a weasel, man. If you can't publicly discuss what you've said privately on political matters, then that position was untenable. It was untenable. And so she knows it's untenable. And so she can't do anything but obfuscate and deflect and act like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And so you get this moment. Just understand this. And quick note to Elon Musk. I know he liked to tweet that boomer meme that was against the left and saying the left has moved so far left and they're crazy. Got anything to say about this? Is this not the right moving further right? I think the answer to that's pretty obvious. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.